Hey guys, Alex, did you like the video?
That was really cool. That was really suspenseful. I love it. Impressed.
Good.
How did you make it?
I didn't make it. Someone made it for me.
Okay.
Oh, best way to make it, Steph.
Somebody else did.
Have an
But yeah, we
expert do it.
realized, the lag was a bit much. So someone was like, why do you guys have a video? I was like, oh, it's a good idea. But yeah, well, look who's back. Alex is here. She's back.
I'm back.
We're all very
Back in action.
So the three of us, we're going to be chatting about a bunch of different things today, but mainly about looking back at the last couple of months. Alex has been away. She's going to ask us some questions. We're going to tell her about some announcements. And throughout, we want you guys to be talking to us, chatting about lots of different things. Straight away, Rob's back. Welcome back, Alex.
Hi, Rob. Rob, you're on my list of people to check in on, so get ready for an email.
Awesome. All right, let's get started. So welcome everyone to the Keys to AWS Optimization, the show where we share stories, concepts, and solutions to help you unlock your spend at AWS. My name is Stephanie Gooch, and I'm a senior optimization architect. I realized that we're all hosts, so I was assured both of you would be like, who's going next? So Savannah.
My name is Savannah Jensen. I am a senior FinOps success manager. And Steph, I think we just talked about how you were changing your name to Steph everywhere.
Did I say Stephanie?
Still said Stephanie. Yeah.
I didn't even notice that. Guys, my LinkedIn's changed if anyone's watching, so it's now Steph. But I didn't even clock that I said Stephanie. So, all right, well, there you go.
Autopilot back there.
Yeah.
Yes. And my name is Alex Head, and I lead the optics team at AWS.
Awesome. And so today, like I said, we're going to be talking all about the last couple of months of updates, announcements, maybe a bit of FinOps X in there. So ask us some questions. Let us know if you have a favorite announcement. If you're watching live or if you're watching on YouTube, then drop us a comment. Let us know what you've been doing. And don't forget to subscribe. So, Alex, do you want to chat a bit about where you've been or ask us some questions? Or
Yes. So I had a baby. I had a baby girl, Scout. And as much as I thought that, I would be eat, sleep, breathe, FinOps on my maternity leave, I was actually just trying to eat, sleep, and breathe with a newborn. So we thought that it'd be a good idea that I could kind of come on here, ask questions, and learn some of the stuff that's happened over the last summer. I think I've been gone right under 5 months. So the world of FinOps has changed. It better have changed. Hopefully things aren't staying the same. And I'm excited to hear what everyone's been doing. I'd also say, even if there's something we're not talking about that you think was cool that happened, like a video or something at FinOps X or something like that, pop it into the chat, because even if we don't get to it, I'm like getting my list together of all these things that I need to go back and look at. There's a lot to catch up on.
Yeah, so much. And already a question. Welcome back, Alex. Did you watch Twitch while you were away?
I choose to not answer. I might have snuck in a few. But I was very silent in the comments. I didn't want to mess up with anyone's flow. I did just realize, though, the last time I came back from maternity leave, this is baby number 2 for me, savings plans came out. So no one thought to tell me that on day one. And so the first customer call I sat in on, they said, we're really getting away from reserved instances. And I'm sitting here thinking, what? I'm very confused. What's happening?
Why?
And I realized that.
Back into them.
Yeah, I was like, so hopefully not as big of announcements came through as that. So I didn't miss something huge.
Yeah. Well, should we kick into the
earth-shattering?
announcements?
But I will say nothing quite so earth-shattering. I will say I always remember when in the year Warren's birthday is, because you always tell that story. And I'm
Savings
like,
plans.
yeah, it's about when savings plans launched.
So savings plans are about to be 4 years old. Wow. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Oh, God,
Steph, you started after savings plans, though, right?
Yeah. I remember the day savings plans came out because everybody did the same thing. Well, not the same high level, but everyone kept telling me about it. And I was like, yeah, I know, I'm into this stuff. And then just so many different people were just emailing me we should do this. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do it.
Give it 24 hours, maybe. I don't know. Let's read some documentation before we just purchase.
Yeah, I need to buy this. And that's always why I always tell the story of like people staircasing is a good opportunity to do savings plans, because I did that exact thing where I bought $1 because I wanted to know what it would do to my care and like what it would do to my account. So I didn't really know what it was. And especially because you weren't buying like an instance, you were buying $1 amount. I was like, I don't know. I estimated how much we should buy. And then, I was a bit like, oh, I don't know if this is right. But I think that's a really great segue into some of the releases. So I think we should jump into that and kind of go through some releases that have happened. Savannah, I'm changing the order a bit, but there was a release you wanted to talk about, which is perfect related to this.
Yes. So super exciting. Pretty hot off the press as well. This is just from the last, I think, under a month. We now have visual savings plans recommendations. So in the SP recommendation page, if you kind of like in Cost Explorer, you think about it's got those big savings numbers at the top, and then you scroll down to the list of kind of places that you can see. There's now a hyperlink from each of those recommendations. And if you click on it, you can basically see a mock-up of what your spend would look like with that savings plan layered on top of it, and like what your coverage level would be with patterns that mirror your data for kind of the last look back period. So you can get an idea of where that savings plan is going to bring you up to in coverage and really see what that's really going to translate to if you purchase, which is super cool. Very excited about it. Customers have been asking for it for a while. It's great. It's really neat. Highly recommend checking it out.
We've had to do that manually quite a bit. So
I know.
we didn't
My gosh.
take that out of Excel a little bit. Wait, so is it in every account, or do you have to like opt into it every account?
Yep.
Cool.
Yep.
I'm going to have to go check that out. Like actually after this call. That's really cool.
It's neat. It's just a hyperlink. Any of the savings plan recommendation lines. So if you're in an instant savings plan recommendation, you can kind of hyperlink out on each one. Compute, you'll just have the one big one. But yep, right there.
Nice. Yeah, I remember Rick showed me this at FinOps X. He was very excited. Shout out Rick. He's been on a couple of episodes. If you want to look at him talking all about optimization and about especially right sizing and savings plans, check out his episodes on Key's YouTube, but Key's AWS Optimization on YouTube. And there's some really good insights from them. But Savannah, from seeing that, what specific problem, because you've looked at it more than I have, do you think it is going to solve or like do for customers? Because I know it's giving them that extra layer of visibility, but from your end, what question is it answering for them?
Absolutely. So it's kind of answering the question that you were trying to answer when you bought that $1. It gives you that extra degree of security of understanding what your coverage level is going to look like after you make a purchase. So instead of having to kind of look at the recommendations tooling and then pull your own cost optimization or cost data from Cost Explorer and try to layer on what that would look like calculated to the savings plan rate, understand what that would kind of equate to, and then layer it on top, you can just visually go look at that currently in Cost Explorer with that hyperlink. So super exciting. Also kind of anxiety reducing, to be honest, especially if you're making a big purchase or a first time purchase, right? When you are testing out savings plans for the first time, like that feels scary, and it gives you a way to see what it will actually look like and really kind of exhale a little bit, understand. Just great.
I would bet too, just going through the approval process internally, right? Like if you're that FinOps person in your company and you're trying to go pitch it, this is a little bit more foolproof way to show that. And really, I think I would guess like for the finance and CFO persona, like translate a lot better.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yep. Rob's posted in, if you can comment on this, I would love to hear your thoughts on this flywheel blog. I have not seen this. I'm going to pop it in the private chat if you guys want to have a look at it. But I think it's kind of a showcase of cost optimization flywheel, like generally how you would do it, the normal kind of concepts. Have you guys read this blog? This is a long shot. Nope.
No, but I'm looking at the beautiful picture, which I love a picture.
We're going to distract Alex now. She's going to get the picture. But I haven't read that one, but I'll think I'll add it to my list. Rob, what we'll do is we'll comment under the YouTube video about it once we've actually read it through, rather than you guys watching us read live on the air, which I don't think will be super exciting for people. But thank you for sharing. So, and I'll put it in the show notes, the link as well that Rob has put in. Okay, let's transition on. So I wanted to talk a bit about the Compute Optimizer integration. So we actually, Alex, we did a whole episode on this. I don't know if it's one of the ones you saw, but it has allowed customers to input third-party observability partners' data into Compute Optimizer, such as memory, so that now it can make optimization recommendations much more accurate. This is like things with Datadog, Dynatrace. Savannah, can you remember the other two? I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. That's it's on the link. I'm sure.
I'll look at the link. So.
Let's see. Did I post it? No. But third parties like that, meaning that the optimization recommendations that it gives you is actually a bigger saving because it has more information about the instances. So we did a whole episode on this, but I thought it was a really good one to shout out just because it is going to change the way customers look at it. And to highlight it again, because still some of my customers, when I speak to them about Compute Optimizer, I'll kind of throw that in as, oh, do you have any of these 4 monitoring tools? And they'll be like, yeah. I was like, well, you can, for free, integrate these now. New Relic, John says, is another one.
Instana is the other one.
So basically, similar to how at times with like Kudos and stuff, we pull in that extra data if a customer has it, but now it's giving you the option to do it straight in the console. Do you have to pay for it?
Nope, it's free, and it's all done by the vendors. So the work has already been done by the vendors. So all you have to do is it's a simple click and plug in, rather than you setting anything up, installing it. It's exactly the same as the CloudWatch memory metric that you could, if you have the CloudWatch memory metric on your instances and you have it connected to Compute Optimizer, it will read that data in. But customers got annoyed, I'm sure, that because they were already paying for like a third party, they didn't also want to pay for CloudWatch. And so now it's taking it, so it's just additional information.
Oh, I like that. These are cool. You guys picked good ones. Keep going. Keep telling them.
Savannah, do you want to do your next one?
Oh, yes, we mixed up the order, so let me pick which one I want to do next. Yeah, I'm all confused, all discombobulated. So this is a number of actually multiple exciting things. So Amazon Billing Conductor has gotten a lot of really exciting new kind of facelifts and usability pieces added to it. So number one, there is a pricing change that makes it a lot more accessible to folks, a lot easier to try out, and really reduces the price point for that service, which is amazing. And then this one is super hot off the press, just from, I believe it was last week, actually. It now integrates with Cost Explorer. So if you've done any sort of setup in Billing Conductor, you can now view those pro forma billing groups in Cost Explorer and see that kind of post Billing Conductor handled cost data visually instead of just in your cost and usage report. So the big thing that we see customers use this for is controlling that RI application presentation. So if they want to kind of create a Billing Conductor group that allocates RI application to a certain group of business units or a certain group of linked accounts, they can do that through Billing Conductor. And now that's visible in Cost Explorer, which is super exciting because that's kind of been a big ask for a long time.
Oh, okay. So will it be as like is it listed as like a basically group that you can be filtering by, or is it its own report?
I would have to take a look at that. I think there's some configuration that you can do. It depends on kind of what level of exposure you're trying to give and whether you're viewing through linked or payer.
Yeah. Aren't you talking, hopefully this isn't wrong. Aren't you talking about Billing Conductor at reInvent, or did I make that?
Yes. Oh, you stole my segue.
Dang it.
It was coming. So shout out, let's do this now. So we are all going to reInvent. I'm very excited. The gang is going again. So if you see us, come say hi. We'll have stickers. Savannah's going to have some extra swag, but we're not going to ruin that surprise yet. But I'll post a session. So we've got 3 sessions for you guys to look out for: a forecasting session with me, advanced analytics curve with me and Alex, and then ABC with Savannah and Scotty, another person in our team. So lots of sessions from Optics coming your way at reInvent this year. So don't forget to sign up and join us.
Steph, just to quickly recap, how many of those sessions are you doing?
I do 2.
But she's doing a builder thing too, right?
Yeah, I might be doing something else. So just you'll see me around. And if you see me and I run past you, I'm sorry. I think it's going to be the main vibe is going to be running around. But what's better than one session? Two. What's better than two? Three, apparently. So yeah, catch you at ReInvent, guys.
Or catch her in the gym. She was the only one of us that actually worked out last ReInvent.
If I could do it with my stupid arm, I'm like, also, my hotel's gym's not as good as last year, but I'll probably still go.
To be fair, I was 7 months pregnant, so gym wasn't top of my list.
Yes.
I have no excuse. I just didn't want to.
Oh god. Before we move off of ABC, Rob just commented, gotta love that 95% cost reduction. Is that the amount it's reduced by?
Yeah.
Wow.
I knew that's what they were going for, but I was afraid to ask because I didn't want to like downplay whatever it was because I haven't looked at it yet. But I knew that they were trying to get that.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's also, in my opinion, it's a lot more easy to understand what that pricing is going to look like just based on the way they've structured it. So prior, like there was a little bit of guesswork involved. Now I think it's incredibly clear, which is primo. We love it.
Awesome. Okay. All right. We'll go on to our next one. And I'm going to choose the one that came out. I only found out about yesterday, but it came out a week ago, which is the cost allocation tags have a last updated and last used timestamp now in cost allocation tags. So I feel like that's huge. And I posted this on LinkedIn, and forgive me, I can't remember who commented, but they were like tagging other people and they were like, let's get rid of the old stuff. And I was like, yes, I love it. Let me know how it goes. So this is hopefully going to mean that you can go into your cost allocation tags and your billing console and actually see which tags like haven't been updated, haven't been changed in a long time. This doesn't necessarily mean that you can get rid of those resources attached to them, but it can kind of give you some updates of if those things have been changed recently, and if that maybe that resource has been existing and kind of static for a long time and you weren't expecting that, then that could give you some information. So especially if you were also looking at things of, for those of you who do cleanups where you tag resources based on they've been idle, you can use that information to say, okay, I tagged this instance as idle 3 months ago. This was obviously in 3 months. Then you can do that. So that's a great thing to kick off. But what do you think about that, guys?
Ooh, that's a good idea. Also with schedules, like if you did a scheduled tag on something or like said that this was something that wasn't 100% resource, you could like go back and gut check that or see if you're actually doing it. I like that. What is it? It's a new field or is it included in the tag field?
So it will be in the cost allocation tags in the console, I think. Okay. So when you go in there, it will show kind of the last time they were activated. So yeah, but all new things to play for.
That's honestly super helpful with cur size too. One thing I've seen a lot in organizations that have merged or have different business units that were like running wild with their own tags for a while is a lot of different cost allocation tags enabled, which makes your cur super large. And you can go in there, see when the last time that was actually used, figure out which ones are useful to you, make those decisions and disable them to make your cur smaller, a little bit more useful, and hopefully remove any duplicate data or kind of useless columns if you want to, which is cool.
Yeah. I've never really thought about that, about how, especially large organizations, they'll just enable, because I've been working on like a dummy account and I have like one tag that I'm tagging everything with, and it's actually because you tag CloudFormation and then it tags all the resources, so I'm using it to look at my spend. Guys, it's not that hard to tag. I'm just going to say it. People are going to tweet me now and be like, it is. But when I'm doing it, I noticed, classic dyslexic Steph, I did miss a letter off on one of mine. So I was tagging everything FinOps as the key, and then I did FinO, op, was like op, Robin Ops. And so I had to go back and change it. But I was thinking like cost allocation, not cost categories will help with that. But then I looked at my active tags, and so I just enabled them all. And now you said that, that's probably something that people do, is they go into their billing console, they just tick as many tags as they have just in case. But then that just expands that data, and the bigger organization you have, the more lines of information you'll get, the bigger it gets.
It's also really overwhelming if you are like a new cur user and you go in and you're like, 500 columns? What?
No, seriously. I mean, I remember the infamous story of me printing out at the time it was called a DBR, but that was like part of the thing. I mean, I had no idea what I was doing and I didn't know the teams. And then there was what's the limit of tags? I had to ask you this, Savannah, because it was on
500.
some 500. I was on like a training I had to take. I don't know why. But
What are you training for?
tell me, like in 5 months, it is amazing the amount of like trainings that expire that I haven't done. It's crazy. But that was a question on there, and I was like, what does this have to do with anything? So confused. But yeah.
Oh, God, I didn't know that was. I'm trying to remember now what training that is. I don't know. Okay, cool. All right, so we've got a couple more. Sav, what's your next one?
What?
Look, so
You mixed up the order, and now I'm so stressed.
you can tell this is like the first time we've all been on the video together.
Do you want me to go to the notes and look it
No,
up?
I got it. I just got stressed for a second.
We're professionals, it's fine.
I promise we've done this before. Cost anomaly detection is now on by default, which we love for all new users. So you don't have to, I mean, you should still absolutely do some of the configuration, but that sort of on by default kind of proactive monitoring that the console is doing, that AWS is doing, can catch a lot of cost anomalies before anybody even thinks to know that they have to turn it on. So great kind of good, like initialization of an account in the right way with a best practice helps new users get used to cost anomaly detection and understand that these tools are out here, and also just detects spend spikes that you're not expecting. Great.
So it's up to you if you quote unquote train it or not, right? But it's automatically there to start. And is it retroactive? Like, is this only new accounts they're setting up, or did it go back?
I don't think it's retro.
Yeah, so it's all new Cost Explorer users.
Mhm.
So if you
Okay.
enabled Cost Explorer, it will be on by default now.
Okay, so you have to enable Cost Explorer, yeah. Which I set up a new organization in our like in my account to try.
How many accounts you got going on here, Steph?
I've got so many accounts, Alex. Don't look at that. I look at other people's. I have like 20, but not all of them are mine. But then everyone else has got like one, and I was like, guys, why do you only have one account? It's weird. I have different reasons anyway. Don't ask complicated questions.
Sorry. Well, I actually, for some reason, another thing that happened when I was at leave, they transferred all of Allie's accounts finally to me. Allie, shout out if you're listening. And she had a lot of accounts. I don't know if they had like temporarily, I don't know why it took this long, but it was weird.
Yeah. Where were they? They're just spending money.
I think they were with the CID team.
Oh, it's probably those ones. Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, I feel bad if Andy just to properly got all of my accounts if something happened and I left.
So you can't leave.
Yeah, no, don't worry, I'm not going. But what was I going to say? Oh yeah, so I'm setting up with these accounts, and so I'm deploying stuff, I'm doing information, I've said I'm doing tagging, and I then went to Cost Explorer like after a few weeks, be like, oh, what's my spend? And it wasn't enabled, and I was like, you have to enable. I forgot that you had to enable Cost Explorer. So yeah, go make sure you've got Cost Explorer enabled at the organization. It will do the link. But then yeah, now it should do this. So I need to, and I think I actually got an anomaly detection on that account because it had just been set up because CloudWatch was like spending money that it wasn't. It was a classic like, oh, you're doing this, and I think, oh no, it's CloudTrail because I set up duplicate CloudTrails to showcase that was a thing. And yeah, it emailed me, and I was like, did I set this up? And then no, Amazon did it for you. So I have to tell you. It works. So yeah, check that out. But like Alex said, it's not retro. So go and make sure it's on your normal accounts before we do that. Any other questions, points on that one?
Do you have one more?
Oh, well, yes. I've read the doc, so
you guys literally have bullet points. I don't know why you can't do that.
You can do it. Our names are on them as well.
I could cheat right now and go look at them and walk through them.
You can't spoil yourself, Alex. Don't ruin the surprise.
She's on the. I can see that she's on the quip anyway.
I opened it up when you guys couldn't figure out your place. I was like, what's not?
Oh God. Someone commented. You can save hours of reading docs by spending hours just messing around with stuff. I agree with that. That's definitely what I do.
Tombstone.
I'm gonna put that on a sticker.
Yeah, that's a great point. Why read instructions when I can figure out the structure? Okay,
Fun
on to my last one, which is Lambda now detects recursive loops in Lambda functions. So this is great to figure out if we've spoken about like Lambda looping before, where it can kind of go on itself, especially with things like SUS or SNS. This is really, I bring this up a lot, and I'm really happy for customers that this is something that's going to be notified to them, and it will say, you know, you've built this thing, it's doing this circular spend, you should probably look into it. It was always a good thing to kind of, what?
I don't know what a Lambda loop is.
Oh,
what do
sorry.
you mean? Like it gets stuck?
Well, like it will, the ones I always use an example is if you had two Lambdas and the Lambda's like started, it triggers another Lambda, and then that Lambda triggers the first Lambda, and then it triggers the second, and then it kind of goes, they just go between themselves. It could be something like a Lambda function puts an object in S3, but there's an S3 event that will trigger a Lambda function. And it's normally because somebody's configured it and they have just kind of gotten things confused. If you're deploying stuff with things like infrastructure as code, you're referencing multiple Lambda functions. It can happen where you could just choose the wrong one to trigger and this Lambda function. And it happened at KPMG. I've seen it happen with other customers before. And it's something people are like, oh, but because they don't normally see a massive amount of spend because Lambdas aren't huge spenders, it doesn't really come up on the top 5. It's normally just still in the bottom, but can kind of waste money. So it's good that they've announced something that can track this for you.
As you were, never mind, I probably shouldn't say that. As you were describing it, I was literally picturing like two lambs, like one knocking each other over backward. Like, because you kept saying you lead with Lambda, and so I was just like picturing two lambs in a circle going back. And that's how my brain works. There's a look into how Alex's brain goes through technology.
Oh Lord. Okay, we've got a couple of minutes left. Anything else, Alex, you want to shout out, question, ask before we wrap up?
Yeah, I mean, so obviously I've got some videos and stuff and catch up on Twitch, but are there any, I hope I'm not putting you on the spot, any cool like customer stories that have come out or things that I should go look at first from blog standpoint?
I'm trying to think. Well, I'm intrigued to read this flywheel one that Rob suggested. I think that'd be a good one. I'm trying to think. I was going to say my own, but then I haven't had any published in the last time.
FinOps sessions are always really cool to look at. I've watched a ton of the ones from 2022 because I'd posted all of them like right when I had a quiet week. And they do post them online. They're super exciting to see. You can also watch YouTube at obviously like 1.5x or 2x speed if you want to just kind of skim over them, which is nice. It's just kind of fun to see how customers talk about this stuff because obviously like we chat about it all the time. But that's a great resource to review.
I know that Jeff on our team, who I think is coming up on a show, he just put he just did one. Well, he has a community post that I have linked to go check out too. It's why engineers hold the keys.
Yes. Yeah. We'll I'll put that in the show notes. I don't think I've got the link to hand. Rob. Alex proves once again that you could take technology out of animal studies, but you can't take the animal studies out of a technologist.
Very true. I didn't even make that connection.
Awesome. All right. I'll just post this up now. We've got the link. So that's a link to Jeff's blog. Check that out. Okay, and then last but not least, that is it from us today. I do want to shout out quickly before we go, because we're on a break now for a couple of weeks, that I am, rather than our first session back, I'm going to be doing Build Live in September, which is on the sign behind me, 28th of September, exactly here, Twitch/TV, Twitch, whatever, AWS. The YouTube link, subscribe to it, is there. It's going to be a full 5 or 6 hours of cost optimization efforts. So that's going to be great. But join us back here on the 5th of October. We're back streaming as normal. And yeah, we'll see you then. Nice to see you guys again. And I'll catch you later.